No medieval fantasy RPG is complete without a bestiary. Sorry, I don't make the rules. Well, the designers make the rules. But this one is why Dragonbane comes out with a bestiary as well. We've already taken a look in a previous video as to how good it looks, but after having read it, I can tell you if this is actually worth the amount of money that you have to pay to get your hands on it. Welcome to the GMS Magazine RPG review videos. So the thing I was kind of wondering is what is this bestiary going to do differently from other bestiaries that we could adapt to Dragonbane and that could be adapted more or less easily. More or less. So let's take a look because it does it very, very well indeed. The first thing I like about this is that it has divided all the creatures within their own species. So we get the Night King, Rare King, Insectoids, Trolls, Giants, Beasts, Undead, Dragons and Demons. So you're going to get different chapters for each one of those creatures. Something else it does very well is that it's adding a few new player kings to Dragonbane, which is excellent because these are kind of bizarro kings like cat people and the like. We'll take a look at a couple of them in a minute, but I do like that. So we get a preface which is very quick on how to use this book with a playable king table. So now we're going to get orcs, ogres, goblins, hobgoblins, frog people, Karkian, cat people, lizard people and satyrs that we're going to be able to play with. So yeah, that alone I absolutely love for two reasons. One, of course, because it's adding some new player characters, but also because it is telling you these are not necessarily beasts. These are creatures that you can interact with, that they're going to have their own civilizations, that they're going to have their own culture. Use it in your adventure. Use them as world building, not just as, killing things and cannon fodder for the adventure. There is more depth to them than just destroying them. So every creature, something I also liked an awful lot is that you get a little tiny bit of flavor text, then you get just one, perhaps two paragraphs describing what they are like, and if they are playable kins, then you get a couple of classes that you can choose, what abilities they have, and then you get some random encounters and adventure seeds if you're going to use them as NPCs. So the hobgoblin exactly the same. Can you see you have scouts, fighter and thieves. Of course, nothing would stop you from doing something else. There's no reason why there wouldn't be a hobgoblin bard. It would be hard. He may not be a very good bard, but at least, from other creatures' standards, but you could also do it. Exactly the same with ogres. And also, they are not always the same kind of archetype of creatures that we are used to finding. The ogre is not necessarily that violent or mindless of a creature. It can be quite, peaceful and gentle, even if they are fighters and chieftains, but it doesn't mean that they're just going to be killing machines. Same goes for the orcs. And then we go for the rare king. Cat people. Every single one of them also has absolutely gorgeous illustration. I think they're done so well. See, however, how, for instance, Centaur, that's no longer a player king. So it goes for their ferocity, the size, and what movement they have. And here it's got the monster attack. course, it's going to give you a reason why these creatures are not playable kin, but it's your game. Change it. Do whatever you want. Exactly the same with fairies. Frog people, these are playable, though they're so strange, so bizarre. And then we go for, let's go for the characters. Monsters like the giant amoeba, we go for ferocity 2 already. The chimera has ferocity 3. They are a lot more powerful to hit and destroy. So that, to me, that is what it does differently from all the bestiaries that I have enjoyed. Firstly, just reading about it, somehow it inspires you to think about how you're going to be using these creatures. Secondly, they are very easy to play. They have very few attacks, but the attacks they have are very powerful. Sometimes they will have weaknesses that, if one of the player characters knows about, could be used. So although they are the same creatures that we have seen time and time again, but because the way that they're being described and used is so different, they get a new lease of life, which I have enjoyed learning about. So this is a very good addition to Dragonbane, not just because it expands the beasts that you're going to be able to use in your adventures, but because it does it in a way that is more measured. It's not just about, this is something to kill. It may be something that has its own motivations that maybe you disagree with, but they are perfectly legitimate, like, don't come into my territory, unannounced. And if I tell you that I don't want to trade with you, stop insisting, for instance. The fact that every one of them has an adventure seed, and it is truly a seed. It's not a mini adventure, it's a seed. It just gives you an idea that you could implement pretty much anywhere. And the fact that they're being very simplified and that you can play some of these, I think it's an absolutely fantastic addition. I love it. I really enjoyed reading it. It gave me ideas which I value immensely in a book. So would I recommend this? Yeah, big time. If you already have this, I would love to hear what you have to say. How would you improve this? What would make it even better than it already is? But this has got an absolutely solid 8 from me because it's lovely. And the one thing that would bring it to a 10 is to have even more creatures inside. But other than that, the bestiary, Dragonbane Bestiary, is just a treasure. Very good value for money. So thank you very much indeed for being there. Please leave me your comments. I would love to hear what you have to say. And until the next time, I will talk to you very soon. Take care.